Yeah.
See, I messaged you, I think before the game was out, or maybe around the time of launch. And I just let you know that emotional scene between the pilot and Chief there, where you sort of break down, the character breaks down, and it's about a 5 minute scene. I said, man, this is incredible. This scene, I said to you, and you'd never seen it in final form until
No,
you saw the video.
man, I was hoping that scene was as good as it turned out. I remember we worked on that scene hard, man. That was in one shot. We did that scene in one shot, man, and did it many times. And thank God, man, our director, man, Dan Chosich, like, I think he might have thought I was joking with him the first time I've said it, but I've said it to him multiple times now. When I think of what it was like when we were doing that scene and many of the other scenes, uh, it felt to me like it was that young, ambitious energy that you had like in college. If you were like doing a college film project and you were there with some of your boys and some people that were just putting that youthful, ambitious energy into what they were doing, almost, for no money at the time, in college. That's what the energy felt like. And Dan was letting me do, you know, he handled it so well, man, because that was a tough scene, blocking and everything else.
Yeah,
But there was a lot going on in that scene, and the most important part, what was happening in it, the emotion,
hmm
and then keeping everything flowing and all the places that we had to be, and all those moments that had to happen that made that thing cohesive. But Dan was really good with me on that, man, and number one, letting me do what I do, and then number two, stepping in when he needed to and saying, like, I think we could hit this a little bit better here. And I think this moment right here, he would give little detailed notes, but let me do what I was doing, and let me do it as many times as I needed to. And man, I get better the longer I get. I guess some people can get agitated over time and
yeah,
take seven. It's like all of a sudden it's like, let's just go, let's break.
yeah.
But man, I do get better because I'm finding more details every time I do it.
Really?
I'm finding
Yeah.
little nuances that are all going into my little database. And so I did get better, the more that we did that scene, and he was cool with it. It wasn't like overkill to Dan. He was like letting us, he was absolutely open to the idea of doing that scene if we needed to do it 12 times.
So how many times? When was what was the one that got in? Do you know? Was that the last take?
I don't, I
You don't
don't,
know.
man. That's a good question.
Yeah,
That's a good question. Yeah.
interesting.
I'll have to
So
ask somebody.
how many times did you actually do it in the end? Do you know?
I'm going to guess at least 12.
Yeah.
At least 12 times. Yeah. And
Wow.
as it comes out in the 5 minutes when you
That's a
watch it.
lot. That's pretty
But
exhausting,
there's
man.
there's a lot of stuff in between as well, and you're taking
Yeah.
notes in between, and
That's a
sometimes
full
15,
day's
20
work.
minutes of chatting, and then you do it. Yeah, there's a lot. It was a sweaty day, man. It
Yeah.
was a
And how
sweaty
do
day.
you keep the emotions going for each scene every time you do it? Because you've got to get on your knees and really lay it all on the line in that scene. It feels
Right.
like.
Yeah, man. I wish I could give you like an actory answer, man. That was so deep. But the truth is, I'm just an entertainer, man. I'm a performer by blood,
So you can
and
just turn it on.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Over time, I mean, this is all I've done though, Dan. Like I've dedicated
Yeah.
more than half my life to acting, man. This is all I've been doing, since 18 years old. And so those tools are in your tool belt. And
Yeah.
I guess over time, maybe some actors, man, can get edgy, and get agitated with stuff like that, having to do it so many times. But with something like this, man, there was no way I was going to let myself get agitated with a project like this. I mean, you just, you're all you got to do is bring yourself right back to that gratitude for being there. And, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'll do this 20 times if I need to.
And is Jen Taylor, because in that scene she's small, obviously in the game because of the weapon. Is she
Yeah.
there just sitting there with you normally in the
Yeah.
scene?
She's
Yeah.
right there standing. Yeah. She's
Yeah.
standing there.
Right.
And then Bruce is holding his hand out.
Yeah. Right. That's
Yeah.
that's it. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Sort of weird because
Yeah.
you wouldn't be looking at her. I'm guessing. He wouldn't
Right.
be
I have to
looking
look at
her.
Bruce. Not only do
Yeah.
I have to look at Bruce and look, there's a certain level on his hand that I have to look at. I can't just look at his hand. I have to look like, 8 inches
Yeah.
up or whatever that is. And then when I'm talking to Master Chief, Bruce has like a stick on his head with a foam ball on top of the stick.
That's right. Yeah.
And so, man, that was hard to get adjusted to. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Talking to a ball all day.
Yeah. You want to perform to someone. You want to perform to their facial expressions and their eyes, more importantly. You want to look someone in the eyes, man, and I couldn't. So Bruce would check me over and over again. Hey, man, you gotta look up here, man. You're looking at my eyes. I was like, oh, I want to look at your eyes, though, brother. I want to look at your eyes.
Our scene here in the live chat says that's the best scene in the entire game. It was amazing.
Man, thank you. That's awesome, man.
And here's one of the comments from my video. So it's now at like 400,000 views. That scene, people are loving. People are coming back to it. They love it. This is a comment that I thought I'd read out to you. This really hits home for me. These past couple of years have been really tough and probably the worst in my life. Halo and I have both turned 20 years old this year. When the pilot says he feels like worthless junk and a failure, I saw myself in him. I don't have a lot going on for me, and I haven't done anything remarkable in my life, which makes me think as myself worthless junk. So when Chief kneels down to tell his friend that we all fail and we all make mistakes, it really made me tear up. It's like an old friend picking you up, dusting you off. It just means so much to me and this franchise, 20 years old. Thanks for reading this, fellow Spartans. We can finish this fight. How do comments like that make you feel, man?
Man, man, he let it all out there.
Yeah.
Whoever wrote that, man, bless you, man. I hope it helps in some way, man. I hope seeing things you can relate to like that will boost you up, and the pilot's got a lot of demons, man. And, he did something that, in the beginning, he did something that's, you carry a lot of guilt. And so, yeah, man, I'm glad, it didn't necessarily occur to me that people would relate to it in that way when we were doing this, but man, that's amazing. You hope you can touch people on a deeper level than just entertainment. That's what you shoot for in acting. And that you hope you could perform things in a way that's so natural, man, that it strikes people to the core, and that's what I'm trying to do. When I do this stuff, man, I'm hoping that I can reach out and touch people in some way with even the smallest parts, that we get. And thank God something like that hit in that way, man. I didn't expect that.
Go to the comments, man. You'll be incredibly.
I normally don't read them, but if you say it's all clear and it's good, all right.
Yeah, I've cleared out the BS, so you should be right.
Right on, man. Right on. Good. Yeah. Filter all that crap out.
There's always a couple, but for the most part, it's pretty amazing some of the comments there. But